Hey everyone, Magic Man's got 40k here. I haven't done any Dawn of War Soulstorms in a while. I just been playing a lot of Total War. I think Total War is just absolutely fantastic once you get the hang of it. It just does a awful job at teaching you, but once you get the hang of it, it's an amazing game. But once I'm done with Total War, I will probably go back to Soulstorm. In Soulstorm, it's pretty hard to find multiplayer, and Total War, there's so many new things just all the time. So I just find this game more interesting. I'm making this video to say I beat the Realms of Chaos campaign. The last video I did, I beat the Immortal Empire campaign. So this one, Realm of Chaos, I think this one is a lot more interesting, and it was a lot easier, but it was also a huge pain in the ass. So Immortal Empires, there's 250 empires at the start of the game, and only like 10 of them are a big deal, the rest are whatever. And you have to kill the 200 empires that are whatever to get to the ones that are big deals. And it just takes absolutely forever, which gives you time to learn the game and all that. In this one, you just gotta deal with demons just all the time, 24/7. And demons are really annoying. They either make your guys weaker, they either hit harder than you, they all cause fear, which makes your guys panic. All my buildings have corruption, and corruption makes the land a different color, like green or red or anything, something like that. So I had to buy all this anti-corruption stuff. I had to go out of my way to buy all this anti-corruption stuff, and I still got corrupted. So I just want to make a video saying I beat Realms of Chaos. I'm very happy. This is the first time I beat it. I played Kislev, which is the guys you play in the prologue, and I have Bellicor as my new minion. What sucks is the internet went out right as I beat the game, so I didn't get the achievement. I think I'm gonna have to go back and beat the game again. It only takes like a half hour. Half hour is really short in this game, but I think I'm gonna do that fight again to get the achievement. Shouldn't take too long. I never did it before, but now I have a good idea what's gonna happen. But yeah, I did Kislev as the Eurasians revivers. I probably butchered it. They've been saying the bear's name all day long, and I still forgot it. Where's my commander guy? He should be here. This is where this is the portal I used to beat the game with. Alright, well, I'll give up. I don't know where my main guy is. He's level 50. My actual, like, general guy. My king. I don't know where he went. So, but yeah, I did officially beat the game of Kislev's. I never played this, so I beat Immortal Empires. That was like my first introduction to the game, which was a really tough introduction. And then I did this, which took forever. So I'm now a big fan of Kislev. I'm a big fan of the faction. I thought they were awesome. They just so this is the Kislev, like where they're located at. They're like located right around here. This is like their home. They spent who knows how many years here. I think it's like, is it here? Well, I don't know exactly where Kislev is, but I think it's around here. It's around this area. But this is like their main home, and all this chaos stuff, all this madness is like across the water, if I go across the water here, it's just chaos and death and madness just everywhere. So they're like on the border of chaos. You can see this, even the world's like falling apart into space. It gets pretty crazy. But yeah, I had a really good time playing Realms of Chaos. But you do get attacked in every direction. Nowhere is safe. And these right here are actually portals. And demons can come in and out of them at any time. And sometimes it's demons, sometimes it's normal bandits. And for some reason, the normal bandits were actually a much bigger problem. As I have like 10 anti-corruption things going on, but normal bandits aren't affected by that. So actually the normal bandit guys were much harder to deal with for some reason. But yeah, I just beat the story mode like an hour ago, and I'm very proud of myself. And this was extremely difficult. I bet it'll be a lot easier the second time. So at the start of the game, in this corner here, there's Chaos Dwarves. And Chaos Dwarves gave me like the biggest headache ever. They were such a pain to deal with. And they're so far apart. Like, here's Chaos Dwarves here. And then there's Chaos Dwarves like 10 miles over here. They're so far away. They're like... It takes like 5 turns to go from here to here. It took absolutely forever to kill the Chaos Dwarves. It was just such a huge pain in the ass. This whole campaign was a huge pain in the ass. But it was very rewarding, and it was worth it. This is one of the generals. This is not my general, but this is one of the generals. You can start the game as her. She's like the main wizard. I wanted her in the final fight, but I couldn't. So the ogres actually beat me to it. The ogres beat the game before I did. And I didn't even know that was a thing. But here's like the ogre faction. And they actually... The goal was to beat Belcor. And Belcor had this like lock. And you had to kill all these demons to unlock it. And I basically had to kill every demon in history to unlock it. And even Scarbrand. I think Scarbrand is the one who fought the Blood Angels, Space Marines. I think Scarbrand is the same guy who fought the Blood Angels and stuff like that. So I had to fight like a Primarch level demon, and that was just like the first key. So this whole campaign was a huge pain in the ass. Let's see if I can get a good... I was going to show you an ogre, but they're all like hiding. But anyways, these stupid fat ogres... I can't really show you the ogres, they're all hiding. But these stupid fat ogres beat the game before I did. And the game is pretty hard, so I'm actually shocked they beat it before me. But anyways, I just want to make a short video saying I beat it. This is a very tough campaign. If you guys want any advice or tips, let me know. Kislev was very strange. It was very strange. Half the units ended up being kind of useless. Only the magic ones were any good. The magic ones and the polar bear ones were the only good ones. I think they just countered the demons. But you really need some kind of magic damage to deal with the demons. Anything that did normal damage was just useless. So, in this game, guns are like garbage. Complete garbage. But a bear with like a sword is like amazing. So, that's kind of why I like Total War. Total War is a game where polar bears with swords are just better. But yeah, there he is. I got Belcor. like the final boss. He's like older than the planet, but I got him. Well, he's not older than the planet, but he's really old. He's like millions of years old or something. He's like thousands or millions of years old or something, but I got him. I'm happy. He's now my minion. Now this game gives me the option to keep going, but I don't have anything to fight. I could take out the ogres because they're really getting in my way. If we look at the map here in the top right, everything blue is mine. So I have like 60% of the map. So that's pretty good. And then you have the halfway guys. I'm not sure how to say the names. I'm still not used to the names. But these guys here, the like Chinese Asian guys, I'm not sure what you want to call them. The Grand Cafe. I'm not sure how you say that. But yeah. These guys started out here and they just never moved or did anything. And they got corrupted by Slanesh and I had to kill them. There was two factions. The Northern Cafe and the Eastern Cafe. And I had to actually kill the North Cafe. They turned evil. So they got fully corrupted by Slanesh. But yeah. If you want any tips or if you want like more details about how I feel about this, I don't want to go into like this long rant about everything I liked or disliked. It would take a very long time. So I just want to give you a rundown of like difficulty. Skaven were pretty easy to fight. Not that big of a deal. Ogres didn't fight them once, except for there was like a third ogre group, and I can kill them with no penalty. So I killed the third ogre guys. They were like a separate, independent guy. Those guys are pretty easy. Nurgle, like Death Guard, he was really tough. Unless you have magic damage or some kind of... You really need some kind of wizard to fight him. If you use like normal guys, he's a pain in the ass. But if you have a wizard, he's pretty easy. Once you get a wizard, he's like super easy. Slanesh was pretty hard to fight. But once you get a wizard with any kind of debuff... any wizard with a debuff made it a piece of cake. Tzeentch was pure long range with armored units protecting him, and that was pretty tough. I think my commander guy, my general, I used him to kill all of them. My general guy has like 100 armor, and even with magic damage, I was able to kill all of them. So I just used my generals to kill the Tzeentch. So that wasn't too bad. Khorne was pretty tough. He just kept reviving every turn. So I would kill Khorne. You can see up here. I had to fight Khorne, Death Guard, Slanesh, and Tzeentch. Khorne was pretty easy, but he kept coming back every turn, which was really annoying. So I would kill like all the gods, Kugoth, Skarbrand, Karo, Fate Weaver. I would kill all the like demon princes, the great ones, and they would just come back like the next turn. And they have like 6,000 health, and they're just a huge pain in the ass. So killing the actual demons did nothing. It did little to nothing. So yeah. Anyways, maybe I'll close it out there. This is Be'lakor. He's like the final boss. Be'lakor was so easy. I have so much anti-demon stuff. He was actually a piece of cake. So... And you can see his tree here. His, like, skill tree. But yeah, there's no... Oh, there's my main guy. I think he's still in the chaos area or something. I don't know where he went. So I used him, though, like... I just sent him out by himself. And he killed, like, all of Zinch. So that was pretty easy. Now, if I were to play this again, I would just do all yellow. This stuff here didn't matter. The bottom tree. If I were to do this again, I would just max out all the yellow stuff. That's what helped out a lot. Wizard. Reborn. You need a wizard for like Death Guard and Sinesh. She made that fight super easy. Especially this spell here. This spell makes it so they slow anyone down by like 50%, and that made the fight a cakewalk. And then this gives any squad magic damage, and that made Death Guard a joke. You use this spell plus any unit, and you can go right through Death Guard, no problem. It was super easy. Once you unlock it, this one, the Legendary Knight, she is super powerful, but she ends up she started out in the left corner of the map, on the opposite side of where I started at, and by the time I got her, it was already churned like 120. And she was useless. But she is, I would say she's just as strong as a general. She is stupidly strong. This girl here, which is like a vampire. She's like a vampire girl. She's also stupidly strong. She's got a bow, a polar bear, sword, magic. Her magic's really good. She is just stupidly strong. I got her from a quest. I got Gore-Tex from a quest. Or Gore-Tech. I got Gore-Tech from a quest. The quest is stupidly hard unless you're maxed out. If you're maxed out, it's pretty easy. I had to wait till like turn 200. Once I got to turn 200, I was able to get the quest done. So the quest is he's getting assassinated by a bunch of demons, and you have to stop the assassination. And the problem is he just runs right into the strongest demon and tries to kill it, which you can't. And you basically have to save him from himself. He tries to as soon as the game starts, he runs into the strongest demon and takes like 50% of his health. And you have like 20 seconds to save him. That's what made it hard. But Gore-Tex, if you look at this skill tree, his skill tree is actually insane. His skill tree is absolutely nuts. So he's really slow, but he'll like one-shot anything in the game. He's like, his melee damage is absolutely bonkers. And then you have his partner here. His partner is like a scout tank. He's a pretty good distraction unit. He's like a support unit. Pretty good. And then you have the Patriarch. I have like 50 Patriarchs. They're my assassin / healer. You need like 20 assassins to kill the demons, and you also need like 50 healers to deal with the poison. This was my answer to the poison. And again, the game doesn't tell you how to deal with this. You just have to figure it out. The game's like, the game didn't tell me, hey, you need some kind of healer for the poison. The game didn't tell me that. I just had to figure it out. But yeah, the Patriarch is basically anti-demon. He's like super, super anti-demon. And I have like 50 of them running around. And he was the key. The Patriarch was a key to the game, for sure. Once I made 50 of them, I was able to really... The game was... It went from hard mode to easy, if that makes sense. And then my general guys... having like 50 generals was nice, just so I can have map control. You needed like 50 generals to control the map. The generals themselves were pretty generic. Nothing really to talk about. These are all generic characters. They're all generic. And then her, she's like the queen. So I'm playing as the king. This is my daughter, I guess. She's like the queen. And she kind of sucks. She has a lot of defense, though. If you read all these abilities, she has like 100 abilities. Most of these are defense and sneak attack. She has a lot of defense and sneak attack for some reason. She has like this. She has this huge ass chariot. This chariot is like a mile long, so I'm not sure how she can sneak attack. She kind of sucks, to be honest. She wasn't that great. Is that it? Oh, and then there's... Okay, this guy here, he's like the leader of the church. He wasn't bad. I think you can give him fire damage on everything. So he was alright. He's like a healer. He makes your army move faster, I think. So he was actually pretty decent. And you can see here he does like 100 damage, which is pretty good. He's really good at he's really good on 1 versus 1 fights. When it comes to 1v1 fights, he's really good. So I basically use my heroes and commanders to 1v1 fights. So any like giant demon or any demon with a name, I just 1v1'd it, and that's how that was my answer. The rest of these guys are generic. But you can see here I have like 50 commanders and 50 heroes. And I do have to level up each one manually, and it takes absolutely forever. Each turn was like 20 minutes. Now when it came to Kislev itself, you really needed magic damage. So
I switch. I seek only the grace.
If I can find someone.
Oh yeah.
The heavy sled was really good. Heavy sled. The warbear riders were really good. The elemental bear was pretty good. It wasn't great. It's extremely strong, but man, is it slow. It is so slow. Jesus. Cavalry was alright. The horses, they were okay. Not too great. Cavalry made Zinch super easy. I was able to kill Zinch no problem. These archer guys, I have like 1,000,000 upgrades. I have so many upgrades for these archer guys. You can see that in the green on the left. I have so many upgrades for them, and they still suck. Like fully upgraded, I have like 20 upgrades, and they still are absolute garbage. So I cannot make these guys good for the life of me. You can see that on the left there, everything is green. That's my bonuses. And they're still trash. So these archer guys are really good at long range, and they're also really good at close range. They can do both. But I did like a 30-minute fight, and they got 2 kills. You would think after 30 minutes they would get maybe 10 kills. Nope. They can't even get 10 kills. Absolute garbage. I think what I had to do was actually share.
Second only to the throne.
Hold on.
Kislev's chosen.
If I share. Hold on. One of these guys can share. Okay, right here. This should work.
I make the law.
There we go. I think I ended up sharing because your starting units are just so god awful. So I just ended up sharing. This is like Grand Cafe's units. I just ended up using them instead. And I ended up using, I think ogres can do magic damage, maybe. So I ended up using ogres. I bought some of them. Long story short, I just did not use... I'm playing as Kislev, and I didn't really use Kislev units. They weren't that good. If I were to do this again, if I were to play this again, I think I would... If I were to start over and do this all over again, I think I would do... this guy here, I would do like 10 of these guys. The one on the left there. And I would do like 10 of like war sleds. And I think that'd be it. And maybe Grom. Grom was pretty good. This one on the right. Grom's pretty good. I like Grom. So that was like the only 3 good units. Out of all my units, that's like the only 3 good ones. The rest of these are trash. I have like 50 units to pick from, and they're all trash. And I have like 1,000,000 bonuses. I have like so many upgrades. Look at all these upgrades I have. Each of my guys have like 50 upgrades, and they're still trash. And that's how I feel about the Empire too. I was playing as the Empire, and even with like 50 upgrades, they were still trash. So I just had to borrow someone else's army, and that made the game so much easier. So as Kislev, I just recommend playing as someone else. Honestly, nothing really worked. I will say hero spamming worked. The demons had a really hard time dealing with all the heroes. So I go to heroes here. If you just buy 1,000,000 heroes, you can see I can make 23 of them. And here I can make 46 wizards. The girl wizard. If I just buy 40 of them, if I buy like 40 or 50 of these heroes, if I hero spam, I think that's actually better than making an army. And each one boosts each other. They have like this thing where they boost their friends. They all boost each other, right? So I think hero spamming might actually be the way to go. Because my army just sucked ass. It really did. And you can see here, they cost 300 to buy, which is dirt cheap. I think this is actually... Let me go back to buying a soldier. How much does buying a soldier cost? 700. So this guy costs 3 times more, and is just absolute god awful. I don't know how to explain it. But yeah, I think the answer, and same thing with Empire. I think hero spamming is actually the way to go, because everything is just so trash. It's all trash. I love Kislev after playing it for like 4 days straight. But yeah, only like 2 of these guys did anything. So that's my Kislev video. And this guy here wasn't here a turn ago. They literally show up out of nowhere they attack whatever's weakest. Whatever's the weakest thing you got, they attack it. So it's literally like unless you have a guy at every town, it's literally impossible to deal with this. So yeah, I lost a town or 2. Even I'm making 100 grand every turn, and I still can't deal with this out of nowhere crap. And I can make like 1,000,000 generals. I can show you here. I can make like 1,000,000 generals. Making a general is not hard. I can have like a bunch, and they start out at 21. You can see here, this guy starts out at 18. This guy here starts out at level 3. But anyways, I can make like 1,000,000 generals and have one at each town. But I have to level up each general manually, which makes every turn 20 minutes. So yeah, that's basically my thoughts on Realms of Chaos. I would love to do this again as maybe like one of the bad guys or even the ogres. I think that'd be really interesting. I might give this another go. It'd also be really interesting as the Skavens. But yeah, that's kind of my 2 thoughts on the Realms of Chaos campaign. I thought the first 50 turns or so was amazing, and then they don't tell you where to go, so you just gotta figure it out. And around turn 50, it became like a chore. It just became hard work. And once you got to turn 100, I was able to really pop off. I was making like 10 grand every turn. And once I started making 10 grand every turn, the game was kind of a cakewalk, and I think around turn 100, I pretty much won. I pretty much won the game. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on Realms of Chaos campaign. If you guys need any advice, now when I say advice, I mean only Kislev. If you ask me for ogre advice or Grant Cafe advice, I have no idea what to tell you. But if you want specifically, basically my advice is just to just spam like heavy sleds. Sleds are like a tier 3 unit, but for some reason they're better than all my other units. If I can show you here. So yeah, this is like a tier 3 unit, heavy war sleds, but they just outperform everything. They're just better than everything. I think heavy war sleds is probably my best unit, and they just do better than everyone. So if I were to do this again, I would just make like 50 war sleds and just beat the game with that. And I think I can give them magic damage. So pop on magic damage with the witch, make like 50 of these guys, and you're good to go. You can kill like everything in the game with this. So yeah, I would just spam like a tier 3 unit. You would think the tier 5 unit would be your best unit, but it's not. The tier 5 unit is kind of ass. But yeah. Anyways, that's my thoughts on Realms of Chaos campaign. I'll go ahead and shut up now. I lost internet right before the final fight, so I'm gonna have to do the final fight again to get the achievement. I don't think it'll be that hard. I just hero spammed and it was pretty easy. The final fight I think is very generous. They give you turrets. They give you like buffs and debuffs. So the final fight is it's like a piece of cake. But getting to the final fight took 4 days. So that was a huge pain in the ass. But yeah, I'm a big Total War guy now. Memorizing one faction was really hard. I cannot imagine memorizing 20 factions. That sounds pretty much impossible. So I don't know if I'll do every faction. Anyways, I'm gonna fight Bellicor again. He was actually like a cakewalk. So that's my thoughts on Realms of Chaos campaign. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'll probably play a different game next time. I think I'll do a video on something else. I'm not gonna be this Total War video guy. I'm gonna let the experts do that. But yeah, I beat Total War. Took absolutely forever. But thanks for watching. Bye.